Today we will be exploring the roles of time and motion in art, how objects are affected by travel through space or time, and how artists can use these phenomena to create messages. Time, or the progress of existence that either endures or evolves from the past to the present to the future, can manifest itself in many ways in art. We may refer to works as being of their time, representing schools of thought or cultures or common political or artistic motivations. Time may refer to the artist's intention to capture a moment, as the camera does. We can now see how artists' relationship with time evolved when the Impressionists reacted to the invention of the camera and began to paint in the alla prima, or all-at-once style, treating the canvas as a snapshot of experiences or moods. Monet was particularly well known for using these unblended brushstrokes to capture the immediacy of the moment. Unblended brushstrokes may also serve to capture the physical actions of the artist in time and preserve them. Action paintings, like the drip paintings by Jackson Pollock, were about using the material of paint in its purest form. By strictly adhering to the qualities of paint itself, this meant that Pollock did not want to use paint to create the illusion of something else. He wanted to be able to communicate a message with only the inherent qualities of paint. This is a real challenge for abstract expressionists because being 100% faithful to not masking the nature of a medium means you only have a very tiny amount of tools at your disposal in order to convey a message. Remember how we said that the elements of art are like the words that make up a sentence? This is kind of like trying to write a whole book with only half the letters in the alphabet. Abstract expressionists are trying to create a meaningful experience without the use of illusions. This means that you have to be able to communicate using something else than an illusion. You may be using color theory, the texture of the material, or the expressive quality of the lines. For Pollock, this meant that he is using the swinging of his arm as he flings paint across the canvas to create a physical manifestation of his energy through paint drips. Using your knowledge of the elements of art thus far, how then can you describe this work in a way that communicates a mood or a message that recognizes only the inherent qualities of paint? Take a moment to answer that, and then we will move on. Art can also capture the feeling of the passing of time. Here, Edouard Muybridge uses the repetition of the horse in various stages as it gallops to create the illusion of the motion of time. The innovations of photography and film both helped make these processes more and more clear, and led to a deeper understanding of how time works and how artists can communicate that passage more effectively. Now consider this work from the Italian Futurist movement, a heavily political group of artists who celebrated technology and the progress of the machine age. Take some time to ask yourself, how does this sculpture imply motion or the passage of time? And what message might this connection to time be sending to you? Time and motion go hand in hand with one another. Each is intrinsic to the other and completes their respective meanings. Whereas time is progress towards the past or the future, motion is progress through space. Art in motion is art that changes with time. This could be work like the Mobiles by Alexander Calder. Beautifully balanced, these hanging objects continue to move and change over the course of time, and in a way, every second that the work endures, it becomes a new piece as the orientation of the different parts evolves and changes. Andy Goldsworthy purposefully incorporates time into his sculptures. The delicate arrangements are purposefully built to be fragile, and in time will break down back from order to the chaos from which it was arranged. These environment-dependent artworks are poignant reminders that above all forces in the universe, time is the one we have yet to escape. And art can also contain records of the passage of time. Photographer Nicholas Nixon beautifully illustrates the passage of time in his portrait series on the Brown sisters, who have posed for him every year for 40 years. In these photographs, you can watch the women age and witness their relationships grow and develop. And lastly, let's take a moment to consider time and motion as the physical presence and duration of an artwork. The time that a visitor spends with the work, or in some cases, the endurance of a performance. Mariana Abramović is an artist who especially focuses on duration, presence, and performance in her works. But the clearest exploration she has given us is known as The Artist is Present. Here in the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, Abramović offered her literal time to viewers, both as a work of art and a gesture against the increasing isolation technology affords us. Once this video ends, click to watch that short clip on The Artist is Present, where Abramović discusses the inspiration and impact of the piece, and then answer these last discussion questions. How does The Artist is Present show you the value of time in art? Would you value something more if you knew that you could only have it for a short while? And why do you think that is? What do you think that reveals to us about human nature?